Libra. So I'm here to do your weekly reading. I actually just was outside in the blizzard, so I don't really have anything to say about that. But that's why my hair is kind of all over the place, so don't mind me. I think it still looks okay. It's a little bit fuzzy in the back, but who cares, right? Me. I don't. So we're going to go ahead and use the solar system cards, and we'll figure out from there. We'll probably use the Eye of Ra to clarify the deck there. And then we'll see what else comes out. I'm not sure. Hope you guys have had a good week. Okay, these are so ridiculous. If I try to shuffle them the other way, they're just all over the place. Like they're really big cards. So I'm just kind of taking what comes out, what sticks out here. So let me get two more for you, and then we will discuss. Okay. The first one out was binary, and that's binary system relationship. So I don't know if you guys are dealing with a kind of a two-toned or a double-sided issue at the moment. Obviously, binary systems have a lot to do with coding. So zeros and ones typically are the binary system that we're used to looking at. They have actually figured out quantum entanglement at this point. So there is a third option at this point, but I will get into that at a different time. It's kind of a long story. Okay. So it looks like basically you have a relationship here that has two parts or two parties or two major aspects to it. And, typically most relationships are binary, just two people. Sometimes there's that third party situation that some people are okay with it, some people are not. Some people are aware of it, some people are not. So this just looks like you've got a relationship going on here. And the universe is kind of letting you know that it's incomplete. Something about it is incomplete. And this actually does have three different, I don't know if you guys can see that third aspect here, but this is slices of the universe, kind of like an MRI slice of the universe as it ages. So it's kind of interesting to me because the way this is coming through is that these two slices or these two relationships have slipped between the slices of the universe in different places. So I don't know if you feel disconnected from each other, literally on a emotional level, a mental level, or otherwise. But it just seems like something about this is really incomplete. That there may have been a sudden stop, or a sudden when you splice things together, or when you shuffle a deck, sometimes the deck doesn't shuffle together immediately. Sometimes the cards actually hit each other in such a way that they pop out, or they literally just don't enmesh with one another very well. So I don't know why I'm seeing this as being something like that right now. You may just be feeling a little out of place. That could also be the issue. But given that the next card out was the Four Forces, gravity and love in the upright, I'm wondering whether or not you have recently run into some issues with finding your place in your own relationship or in your relationships with other people. If you are actually thinking about the Trinity here, this could be somewhat of a spiritual thing is also what I'm perceiving. Love has a lot to do with the combination of mind, body, and spirit. And to have a successful relationship, ideally, you would be able to bring those three aspects together into one, or into love, So if you're going here from a 2 to a 3, and then love here, or the fourth force of gravity has become now an attraction for you, as a satellite, as something that, you're circling around. Um, I'm just seeing that if you're circling love rather than necessarily experiencing it, if it's not complete for you, but you are feeling that you should have a relationship, or that you do have a relationship with somebody or maybe something that has a kind of a Trinity-like experience to it, then I don't know if you're able to bring these together or not. I mean, you'll know how this is definitely going to apply to your life, but I'm just seeing here that without completion of this relationship, love and the way that you're circling love, or the way that you're staying grounded by the gravity of the situation, may not be able to come to fruition. It doesn't mean, it looks like actually most of these cards are in the upright. So that is a positive thing. And it denotes that there's like something else to be gained from understanding, or being able to look and examine the dark spaces and all the spaces in between your relationship. So I don't know if you've got multiple people, like 3 different people that you experience relationships with or love with, but that you're circling around actually bringing one of these 3 relationships into, just, I'm looking at these different planets here, and obviously there's multiple different, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, there's 5 different planets there. So when you think about that, and then look at the 5 different splices, or the 5 different options that you've got, given the binary relationship, and the 3 different options that you've got for completion, you might have too many things on your plate at this time, is what I'm seeing, that you might be trying to balance all of these things, or bring them all home at the same time. You could be a little bit of a player, Libra. I mean, I have some Libra in my chart as well, so no criticism there. But if you are feeling like you'd like to go ahead and complete the cycle, or whatever situation it is that you're looking at, you might need to figure out which one of these relationships, which slice of the cake, which one of these areas of life, love, and basically which one do you want to manifest? Okay, it's like you've got 5 options here and 5 options here. Then you've got the ability to ground that. You've got love, and that's the overriding force here. But you have to choose for yourself, and for the best outcome possible for all parties involved. Which of those relationships do you want to make into a binary thing? Because it's actually really hard to have a relationship, or a serious relationship, with somebody who's not on the same page as you. That might be kind of what you're looking at here, is that you might have a relationship with one person, but you might not be on the same page. There's 3 different pages here, and then 5 different options for what to write on those pages, or how to go ahead and ground that love. If you're not willing to take the next step of completion, or if you're not willing to say very clearly, well, I have a vision of love, or I have a vision of how to go about grounding myself with this binary relationship, you might be confusing the universe as well as yourself about where you'd like to be. So rather than both of these kind of binary systems landing in the same pocket of the universe at one time, they may be falling in separate spaces. And if that's something that's okay with you, if you're okay with having 5 different choices, kind of always circling your head, and being a satellite rather than a actual entity or an actual planet yourself, with this binary system, then that's fine. But when you think about the Earth, for example, the Earth is obviously a planet, and this is where we all reside. And then we've got the moon, that is a satellite around the Earth. It just circles the Earth constantly. So, I mean, if you want to be circling somebody, that's another option. Some people are okay with that, some people are not. It depends on what you want for yourself, and you have to kind of clarify how you're going to go about making that happen. I'm also just seeing here this really bright flash of light, and this is a nebula cloud. So this is where stars are born, and I'm just seeing that this could be the seed of another, maybe a giant red dwarf exploding and then landing somehow, or bringing new elements or whatever into the nebula cloud here. So if you want to seed something, or like, and I don't necessarily mean like an egg and a sperm. I definitely can, you can apply that the way that you see fit, even if it's just a new idea of love, or if it's a new concept about a project that you'd like to start. You might need to focus your energy a little bit more on bringing this closer. So being able to figure out for yourself, okay, if I'm going to circle, if I'm going to be this bright planet here that's coming into fruition, right? How do I get closer? How do I land or incubate myself inside of this nutrient cloud of planets, or at least in a space, a slice of the universe, a slice of this. Like if this was a loaf of bread and we chopped it up here, this is what we would see, right? And how do I place myself in a position where I can then become these stripes of light rather than a blank space? I don't know if you guys are tracking what I'm saying, but let me go ahead and get some clarifiers for you so that we can go ahead and see how I can explain this a little bit better for y'all. I'm going to use my Eye of Ra deck. It's just really blunt. It's a very blunt deck, and I think it's very helpful. Okay. Yeah, so binary systems. Well, there you go. Exactly 3 fell on the floor, so we'll take them. Okay, so binary systems came out with fire. The upward pointing triangle like that is the sign for fire. Obviously, we've got earth, air, and water as well, but this is fire. Because it's a binary relationship, I am seeing that this might be a very passionate relationship, or you might have a lot of love for some place, some person, something, and feel very strongly about it. Specifically, if it is a new relationship, you might be experiencing quite a bit of, attachment, wanting to, have a little bit of intimate time, or a lot of intimate time. I don't know how this pertains to you. This could actually be a fire sign, so Aries, Leo, Sag. Either way it goes, this is obviously a very new, very fiery, very passionate, very productive kind of relationship that you've got here. The completion card has the snake coming across it, and I am seeing this like very passionate with the snake especially. So if you are trying to transmute or cross over to find which one of these 3 splices you would like to exist within, whether it's going to be something, a potential for something, or nothing at all, that's kind of how I'm seeing this, is that you're not done figuring out what it is going to be. You're not done figuring out or exploring the ways in which you could potentially make this happen. I don't know if if that's something that you're going to continue to feel, or if it's not something that you're going to continue to feel. Sometimes in relationships, we meet somebody, feelings flare, and then it's really intense and very sexual, and then it kind of fizzles out. But it sometimes takes a while to fizzle out, as in you're not quite sure how to make it fizzle out, or how to make it continue, for that matter. So I think you're still making up your mind about what kind of longevity you might like. I'm just seeing the snake, the longevity that you might like for this this binary relationship to have, and on top of that, what kind of if this the love came out in the shadow with the shadow. So in the back of your mind, you might have an idea of which way you like to turn things, but you might not actually have very much of a direct understanding or be able to vocalize. I'm just also now seeing the tongue of that snake there, like a wagging tongue. You might not know how to bring something out of the shadows, your love out of the shadows, or you might not know if somebody loves you back. Sometimes we can kind of keep these things to ourselves until we feel like we have 110% confidence that the other person will reciprocate. That's also something that I'm seeing here. And because of that, I'm also, the attraction here, or the satellite, has no grounding. So earth signs, Capricorn, Taurus, or Virgo, you could be feeling like you are not able to actually choose a planet that's inhabitable. That came out. That caught me off guard too. Uh, this is kind of, I don't know if you guys, the scope on a gun. I'm just seeing this as a scope of a gun, or maybe of a telescope of some type. You might be searching for signs that you can land, or that you are safe to express that shadow love that you've got for somebody. And it might not be something that you're able to necessarily find at this time. If you know the signs of a habitable Earth or planet, it is typically one that has water or emotion, and it's one that is within a certain range of the sun, so that it's got certain properties of warmth, a warmth or a heat element also associated with it. So out of all of what we've got here, the one thing that I'm not seeing, that's not being shown, is, I guess you can kind of consider your shadow to be part of like an air kind of motion here. And since we're talking about Libras, you guys are very cerebral and tend to keep things either cerebrally in your head hidden, or also to notice a lot of details. So noticing your shadow chasing you, or noticing that you got shadow work to do, or maybe understanding your shadow side is, so we've got earth, we've got air. We'll just count this as love as being a cerebral air sign thing. And then we've got fire. The one thing that we don't have here, and that is maybe causing you some difficulties with figuring out how to find a way to land all of this for yourself, and to gravitate towards love and manifesting this love force here, is potentially the water. So you might need to continue thinking about what kind of emotions you've got. Snakes, there's a Native American proverb, or actually it's a story, I guess, is better way to explain it, that you don't want to let the snake cross the river, the black snake cross the river. And I think it has a lot to do with, not with snakes in particular. Snakes are actually relatively good for water and earth, as earth and water creatures. But I'm just saying, I think sometimes when you're thinking about transmuting certain people, places, and things, it's like saying, oh, I'll try anything. You don't want to necessarily try everything. There's limits to every person, and especially when it comes to your emotion. You don't want somebody to cross your emotions the wrong way, and you don't want to cross someone else's emotions the wrong way. And if you do that, then it does completely bring things to a halt. So maybe you can think about for yourself, the water aspect. What do I need to do to find water when I'm, doing my rounds? What do I need to do to find water or offer water, so that this snake doesn't drown and can make it to the other side? Or so that, the water is high enough that the snake doesn't make it to the other side. It depends on what you want to actually manifest. And so it's your choice. It's completely your choice. But I'm just seeing that as being the main points here. I will get one animal card to give you some advice on how to move forward, please. Oh, parrot popped right out. So parrot is symbolized by love, prophecy, verbosity, and mediation. So that kind of works exactly with what we were saying. The Pueblo Indians consider the parrot a supernatural bird of the sun, an association that likely arose from its brightly colored plumage. Because of its incessant chatter and ability to imitate speech, the parrot has also been associated with foolishness and loquaciousness. So you might be feeling like, you know, instead of really kind of investigating your emotions on the inside from your shadow self, you might be more so using your cerebral faculties, and that's what air signs tend to do, Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. And it's not a bad thing, but I do think that you should spend some time kind of investigating what you want to complete and what you don't want to complete, like I said before. So anyway, that's all I've got for you today, and I will be back next time for some more. Bye, Libra.